what documents should you include in your trust or your will plan? So this is a really important topic to cover because I get asked this all the time, like what goes in a trust plan or what do you put in a will plan? And there are definitely certain documents that you really should include. Most people, no matter their age, as long as they're an adult, should have in case anything happens in the future and they need these documents. So obviously you're going to want a last will and testament. The last will and testament is the document that one can dispose of your assets upon your death. It also can list specific gifts if you want specific items to go to specific people. That can be in your last will and testament. And it can include any type of burial or cremation direction. So it's an important document. In addition to the last will and testament, you are going to want to have a durable power of attorney included in your estate planning documents. I have seen this document save so much money and so much stress time and time again. What can happen if you become incapacitated at some point in your life, either temporarily or permanently? The only way that somebody can do things for you that are needed, such as assist you with paying bills or signing a needed contract, completing an application. I mean, it could be settling a credit card debt, all sorts of things that usually only you are permitted to do. If you don't have a durable power of attorney in place, the only way a person can do these things for you is to go into the court system and get a guardianship over you, which is the last thing you want. If you want someone to be able to help you, to do things that make life easier for you, you need to have a durable power of attorney in place. And this is for things like financial things is what we're talking about. So there's the durable power of attorney that goes over ways someone can help you open and close bank accounts. They could add a beneficiary to an account. They can sign a deed if needed. So right now we're talking about the financial durable power of attorney. The other documents that you want included in your estate plan are health directives. These include a healthcare surrogate form, which is also known as a medical power of attorney. So just like you may need somebody to help you with financial matters at some point in your life, if you're unable to do these things for yourself, you also want someone to be able to make medical decisions for you if you're unable to make those decisions for yourself. Now, you want this to be someone who you trust, right? You want it to be someone who you know is going to make the right decision for you. So it's important that you have this document in place so you can choose that person. Now, in addition to a medical power of attorney or a healthcare surrogate form, you might also want a living will. A living will is the document that states what you are and aren't okay with medically in an end-of-life type scenario, right? Like say somebody has a terminal illness or they were in a really bad accident and now they're in a vegetative state, right? So what do you want to have happen? Do you want to be kept alive on life support, on feeding tubes? Do you want to be resuscitated if you go out? Or do you basically want to be left alone, maybe given pain medication and be allowed to die naturally? These are decisions you want to make. You don't want to leave this up to a healthcare provider to make it for you. So that's why it's important to have this document in place. A lot of other plans will also include a medical records release form, or it might be included with one of the other documents. This is so people who you trust can get access to your medical records when needed, maybe so they can advocate for you if needed, or also so if these records need to be transmitted from doctor to doctor, or they might need to be turned in for, say, like a life insurance policy. Having a medical records release form makes it possible for somebody to get a hold of these records and do, what's needed to be done. So I guess the highlights here are, you definitely want a will, you definitely want your medical directives, and you want a durable power of attorney, or the medical directives are also called health directives. Additionally, you may want to consider a trust. So one thing about a will is a will does not prevent probate. It gives very good direction on where you want your stuff to go, but it doesn't keep you out of the probate system, which is why a trust can be very, very, very important. A trust can make it so that your assets don't have to go through probate before they pass on to your loved ones. And in certain situations, like people who have minor children, or if you own a business, you're definitely going to want to add a trust to your estate planning documents. And really all a trust is an agreement between the person who is putting stuff into the trust and the person who is managing the assets in the trust as to what is going to happen with those assets. So a trust agreement is simply kind of just like a contract, right? It's an agreement that says, hey, this is what I want to have happen to my stuff. Now, while you're alive, you're that person who's going to manage those assets. You're the one who determines what happens. But when you pass away, it's really important that you list a trustee, a manager of the trust, who you know is going to be able to carry out your wishes under the trust. All right, I hope this helped.